Hi gorgeous lights, welcome to an energy update for the 21st of October. Now I wanted to put an update and then I just got in this big argument with Spirit about resistance. So the energy update is about resistance basically. So we're in this, it kind of, they're telling me it's like a turnstile. We're in a turnstile and it's like a train station. And you've got to put the wee ticket in and it goes chook and the turnstile moves and you can move forward. And they're telling me that literally this is where the collective consciousness is at right at the moment, because the turnstile is the resistance we create to look at things a different way, to we create a path of resistance by trying to control outcomes, control situations, know where we're going. And that's absolutely normal because that's how human brains work, needing some certainty, needing stability, needing to know what's actually going on. However, it's also creating a tremendous amount of resistance. So if you're feeling like you're at the turnstile of your life and you know many times you pop that ticket and you just can't see your way forward, please understand that the resistance that you're creating in yourself is your attachment to the 3D formula that you've actually been used to. And the 3D formula that you've been used to is the how. If I decide that I want to have a house, then how do I go about that? Because my parents and my grandparents taught me that in my society, in my bank and whatever, said that there's a way that you actually go about doing that. And so it becomes very, very limited that then I've got to approach the bank, I've got to have money, I've got to have this, I've got to have that. This is how I'm going to get to this outcome. Yet it's very controlling, it's very 3D, it's very limiting. It doesn't allow for what Spirit calls any magic or any possibilities that might be beyond that. There's a set criteria that says that this is the way that you're going to get it, and this is the how that we implement. And how we create resistance when we're actually doing this is we're literally saying this is the only way. Rock solid, this is the only way that it's going to happen because my parents did this and my grandparents did this, and this is the way that it's going to be. And Spirit is very, very clear with the changing of the, into the, and kind of like a new understanding, a new matrix, a new possibilities. And I know that they're doing this preparatory because next year is Exploring Possibilities years, which keys on you acknowledging that there's different ways of doing things. It keys on you actually going, do you know what, that I want to come surrender maybe to the magic of the universe. And there's another, it isn't about the how do I do this, it's about why not, and heading this direction and see what happens. So it's not leaving things up to chance. It's basically going, are you sure that anchoring in and doing it, how to do it that way is the only way that is supposed to happen, considering the rules have now changed and collective consciousness has now changed about the way that we manifest things, and we're entering into these amazing, incredible timelines that has this possibility of things manifesting in a completely different way than what we used to. So our resistance block, if you like, is going, well, it's always just been that way, and it makes it really, really narrow. So what it does is it provides a very narrow formula for the universe to bring you what you would like, because you're only giving one pathway, which is not applicable to the universe, of how this is going to appear around you. So it requires an incredible degree of flexibility, an innate trust in the universe that the universe will provide, and then surrendering to whatever way, shape or form that's actually going to turn up in. And I think that the resistance blocks that we actually create is in our desperate need to know how that's going to happen, because we like controlling situations. We're not actually we think we're being flexible, but we're not actually being flexible at all. And worse than that, we're not actually being creative, that actually says, I'm going to actively co-create with the universe. I don't need to know the how. I'm just going to envisage that I'm going to start in this direction. I'm going to keep going in this direction. And this is going to take me to where I need to be for myself. And it's kind of like my grandfather's making me laugh because he's just like, take a punt, and have complete blind faith, and wing it and fake it till you make it, and all those other wonderful things that we actually talk about. And then our 3D programming says, well, that's not very practical. Well, exactly, they're throwing practical out the window for next year and going, can you discover your own potentiality for what you can um, proactively create, not reactively create. And what they mean by that is we're so programmed at times for drama, anticipatory drama, because a lot of our 3D programming is prepare for the worst, that there's no prepare for the best. And so the universe is actually trying to actually push us to say the experiences that you've actually had so far have been about your growth, it's been about your learning, it's been about the wisdom, it's been about the understanding. Now surrender and flow, because I'll always catch you. And I'm seeing people, they've got a constant battle with the 3D, 5D, 3D, 5D. It's like they're having Tourette's or a twitch, crikey. So I know that the collective is just 100% getting pushed to actually come into a new version of this understanding that belongs to the 5D, that when we embrace flow, then we are magnetic, and the universe is bringing to you your next step. It's bringing to you what you want. It's bringing the... Exactly, thank you. That just made me laugh. A new set of strategy, game rules, and scavenger hunt rules that are actually way more clearer than what they actually ever used to be. So I think that if what you could do, to be perfectly honest, is if you started to explore your own resistance. Now, one of the resistances that Upstairs talked to me about is procrastination, is the knowing that you should probably get on with that and do something, but instead we surrender to doing nothing because it's easier, or it feels easier, but it's not, because a resistance block that actually stops you going, yep, I did that, I nailed that, I took a step towards it and the universe met me halfway. You're not going to find out whether that happens unless you actually do it. And I think probably they've been hammering me for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I've said, right, let me get moved before I move into the next wave. And then they said, that's your resistance then. Your resistance is, I'll just get to there and then I'll do this. I'll get to here and then I'll do this. And I kind of had to eyeball that, because I think a lot of us are like that, because we're like, that's familiar. That'll do, that's familiar, but you didn't come to do that'll do. You actually came to reinvent yourself into the best and amazing version of yourself, with complete and utter freedom to be yourself. And I don't see hardly anyone there yet, because of this resistance blocks that we're creating in ourselves that says maybe it's too difficult, or maybe if I won't be successful, or worse, those hideous perfectionist traits that says I won't get it right. So knowing that I won't get it right, I won't bother at all. There's lots of 3D programming interfering right at the moment. If I say to you, you're born to stand out, every single person was born to stand out and have exactly what they want. You were not, it doesn't fit in with societal programming that said that you were born to fit in. I want to see amazing, incredible, gallopy unicorn people going, I'm a unicorn and I'm happiest being my unicorn self because I've accepted this as who I am. And all the other unicorns go, yay! So, it's about being brave enough maybe to challenge your own mind, your own programming, your own, did you come to just own a house? Did you come to buy the car? Did you come to do those things? That's all well and good if that's what you want, but I can tell you right now, you didn't come just to do that. You actually came to have these amazing adventures, experiences, learn about yourself and all those sort of things as well. Exactly, the Spirit has just said, where is your level of discontent? That says, once I have accumulated these things and I thought that I was attached to these things, have they actually fulfilled me? Because no, fulfillment actually comes from your very soul, living and breathing in the moment, being exactly who you need to be for yourself. That's not defined by what car you drive. You can say, yay, I've got this car for 5 minutes, and then as you keep driving it and the novelty wears off, then it's just a car. So, you know, and the same applies for a house. And I see a tremendous amount of people, and I see their resistance blocks because they're like, I don't feel fulfilled, I don't feel happy, so I'm going to get another job, and I'm going to get another house, and I'm going to get another car. And then they get all those things and they say, I'm still not fulfilled because it was never an external issue that needed to be fixed. It's an internal addressing what you want out of your life. Are you sure you're not living your parents' ideology of what they thought that you should come to do, or what they thought they should come to do? Because the secret to your own success is what makes you happy. And I believe that our society feeds attachments. It says that you cannot be happy unless you have the figure, go to the gym, you know, turn up this way that makes you socially acceptable, or have this house, or live in the suburb, or whatever. And none of that has anything to do with the internal radar of happiness that you have, because at a soul level, you have devised more for yourself to actually experience within that. And I think that this movement over timelines right at the moment is simplifying this, is making this clearer and clearer. And we've shifted 100% from a goal orientated, success orientated cosmic pathway, if you like, into inner empathy, inner compassion, inner understanding, the wisdom to say, you know what, there's a part of me that's really happy if I'm just sitting beside a river just watching them go by. I don't want to chase after those things anymore. I don't want that anymore. And it's moved to joy, enjoyment, creation, all those sorts of things that are really, really lovely. So there's new ideas coming in for people. There's balances between work and play, instead of going, oh my gosh, I'm going to work myself to death. I talk a lot about, with my clients, about, you know, are you dying to live or living to die? You know, because the only moment that you actually ever have is the moment that you're in, because in the next moment you could not be here. And if you're focused on the past, you can't be in the present. And if you're focused on the future, then you can't be in the present either. And you're missing these incredible, amazing opportunities for connection, for people, for joy. That's right under your nose, because you're in the wrong timeline. And you're not present, and you're in your head worrying about all these things, and the how and doing instead of just going, do you know what, where's my flow into being myself? So these are massive timeline changes. Not everybody's all at the same speed, but I'm watching definitively the collective consciousness really start to come into awareness that they want to be happy and they want to love their lives. And I'm loving this new energy that comes in, but it's really about you actually exploring your own resistance, because a lot of the time, if you dig a little bit deeper to find the real you within you, you'll find it's underneath the programming. It's underneath, what did you call it then? They just said to me, underneath, yeah, exactly. It's kind of like they're showing me like a rack of jerseys in a sale, you know, in a department store, and they're saying that it's underneath the sale sign of the 3D reality that says, in order to consume something or have something or achieve something, then I am quantifiably successful. You've got to peel off that odd coloured jumper that never really suited you anyway, to actually come back to actually say, nah, this is actually, I didn't want any of that. That's not actually making me happy. I want a simple life of good people, good food, good dynamics, and you'll be surprised probably that the shift that happens in you is actually quite huge. Look for your resistance. That's what this Up to Energies update is about. You are blocking your own self from moving forward. You're trapped at the turnstile. So if you're tired of being trapped at the turnstile, then you need to look to you. Don't look what anybody else is doing. Look to yourself and say, okay, I'm being stuck here for a reason. I'm being stuck here because the only way to get to the 5D is through myself, and I'm blocking my own self by thinking it has to be a certain way, and I need to surrender and actually go with the flow a little bit more and see what unravels. Because the universe is also co-collaborating with you, and or your grand design is already in play, Maybe you just need to stop racing and doing to slow down enough to actually work out exactly what the simple joys are that you actually have in your life and what the universe wants to show you. Have a think about it, guys, because wow, was it full on energy to do with this as well. We're in discernment energy, boundaries energy, and clarity energy. The best you can do is give all of that back to yourself and discover who you truthfully are, because I don't think that you want that sailed 3D jumper anymore, because the 5D one is looking pretty awesome. Take care of you.